Yo, what's good, everyone? Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. Yeah, I had to come early morning um, to try to process this a little bit. I'm not sure what time I'm coming on tomorrow, but I'm gonna tell you straight up, man. Tonight was absolutely hilarious, yo. Tonight was, oh my god, in true rare. I mean, just true rare form on a march. God damn, boxing did its damn thing, y'all. It shows you why it's the hocus pocus of combat sports. I'm listening in the process of the post press conference with Lamont Roach, and I'm gonna get my take on him, and I'm gonna get my take on Tank Davis. Hey, whether people like it or not, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Toby Bartlett, Mr. International on deck. Salute WCS in the hottest chat in the YTC. We're global, baby. We're global, no doubt about it. We just watched a good one tonight. You know? So let's talk about the fight in general, the encapsulation of it. Listen up and listen good. Listen up and listen good. I'm happy for Lamont Roach getting a victory, but I am seeing a lot of people that was giving him no chance in hell to go the distance. Right? No chance. They're talking about Ray Jackson. Hold on for a second. They're just going over certain social media entities that they don't like alike. So I guess Tank is about to come on. But let me get this straight, right? I kind of put it out there, right? That Tank and Lamont Roach may potentially go to a draw, or it may go the distance. I said the distance, not a draw, a distance. All right. And just so you can know, let me show you this right here, just so you'll know that I said it'll go the distance. A lot of people's like, no, it ain't going the distance. Man, they friends. He set that man up for another bag. Look at this right here. I said it was gonna go the distance. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many other people took advantage of that, but for Gary Russell Jr. to go the distance, you know, in his fight, go the distance. Don't get the fight confused. I'm talking about two different fights that I mentioned that may potentially go the distance. That's Gary Antoine Russell and Tank Davis. I bet it on Antoine Russell because it was better money. I just wanted to put that up there. But when it came down to Tank, this is my deal. They're friends at the end of the day. They're like family. When he wouldn't talk shit about Lamont Roach up there, he said because Mom Dukes was on deck. I said, man, this fight going the distance. They're gonna turn this into something that this guy can get. So you know, Lamont Roach can come back for a second payday, and that's exactly what's happened. Not only that, he carried Lamont Roach in some of those rounds. People gonna look at it like, no, they didn't. Man, they was moving around. If y'all don't look at that shit, man, Tank up here acting like he can't box. They was up there fainting and fainting and fainting. How would Tank be so scared of Lamont Roach's power? Yeah, he was bigger. I want people to recognize that. Lamont Roach was bigger than Tank in that fight too. But you think Tank came in there all of a sudden he was scared of Lamont Roach's power? Hell no. They was up there moving around like they do in sparring. They turned it up every now and then. But them dudes was throwing one punch every 5 seconds some of them rounds. But what he did was something I can appreciate. He allowed Lamont Roach to look better than what a lot of people imagine him to look against Tank. And also, now you have people puckering up. I'm talking about they got them suction cup, them soup coolers, goddamn suction all that ass cheek. They giving Lamont credit. Oh, you look great. It looked like at one point in time you hurt, Tank. I'm glad this fight turned out the way it did. Because now you're going to have even more people saying they want to fight Tank or they want to fight Lamont Roach now. All of a sudden, Lamont Roach is going to be a popular fighter coming up from 130 because the way he looked in there with Tank Davis. This is a perfect example on how a narrative would be pushed with square wheels and it's bumpy as fuck. And people will still say, you know what? I know that I'm gonna stay away from the round or spear type wheels. No, I want the square ones because it's, you know, it just takes us longer to get there and we have more to talk about. Lamont Roach sucks. He's this. You know, what do y'all think about that? Nobody wants to see him. He's not that good of a fighter. Then he goes to a draw with Tank tonight, and everybody's kissing his freaking black ass, dog. Now everybody's kissing Lamont Roach black ass, man, for real. He's getting mad love now. People up here trying to claim that Tank, oh, he just don't have it the way he did, and he had problems. Okay, what he just did was put you in a situation where no one wanted to see it. We had people arguing and crying about paying for this pay-per-view, right? Now they probably gonna have a rematch, and people will say, hey, I think he can get it done. I'm gonna pay for this one. You know, that's the same shit that Floyd Mayweather did with Marcos Maidana. He looked okay in the first fight. This is after Maidana had fought Adrian Broner. He made it close. And then he came in there and made it look super easy in the rematch. 2 paychecks for Maidana, 2 paychecks for Floyd Mayweather. This is exactly what's about to happen with Tank. But let's talk about the kneeling. Okay? Let's talk about what we witness as fight fans, as human beings, as individuals that has physical anatomies that consist of eyes, pupils, cornea, irises, and all that shit, right? We seen Tank Davis acting weird. You know what I'm saying? We seen him do some shit that I've never seen him do in a fight. When he sat down in the second round, Barry Hunter asked him, "Are you okay? Everything cool?" And then, you know, I saw him look off to the ring side. He wasn't really talking to nobody like he usually do. But a period in the fight, Tank Davis, in a close fight, who knows? He decided to take a knee. Tank Davis took one of the most clear, concise, HD knees that you can take in a boxing match, y'all, without being hit with a punch. He did it. He voluntarily took a knee in the middle of a 12-round championship fight. And at first, the referee was going to say, hey, let me do my regular thing because, you know, the timekeeper on the side, you know, the ref supposed to pick up the count from the timekeeper on off the ring apron. He stopped. He stopped with the time while Tank went over there and had some people in his corner wipe some grease off his face. He said he got his hair done this amount of time and some grease was getting in his eye. And the referee did not charge him, did not account him for a knockdown, which potentially could have made this fight look a lot more controversial. Now me, it's no way Lamont Roach wasn't he was winning this fight without knocking him out. Tank could have earned the knockdown and he still would have won. Look, it's just the way it's going to be. He's not going to take a L to a Lamont Roach on March 1st. But the referee, the commission, everybody who was there, you know, when Virgil Ortiz was hit by a punch, right? Check this out. You know how I do my comparisons, my analytics, right? You know how Virgil Ortiz was hit with a punch and they waved off the first knockdown and then turned back around and came back and say further replay. Well, in this fight, you know, people are going to be asking, is it replay? Is it replay over there in New York? Is it replay? Why didn't you use replay? Because clearly Tank did take a knee. That's supposed to have been called a knockdown. And I don't give a fuck who mad about it. You know what I'm saying? It happened, and I'm going to talk about it. Because that's another way of boxing, waving the wand, and doing this hocus pocus shit that people just look at and shake their head like, God damn, how in the fuck did he do that? How can he take a knee in the middle of a fight and go over there and wipe his face down and go back to freaking fighting, and he's not even assessed a knockdown? Lamont Roach didn't do too much to protest it. Lamont's team didn't do hardly anything to protest it. Why they didn't protest it after post-fight? Why they wasn't jumping up and down, man? Because they know what it is. They knew it was going to be a goddamn clown show a little bit. They knew they was trying to go back for a second to get that payday. They want 2 paydays out of this shit. So it had to be some controversy. You know, Tank had to keep the fight close. Them dudes was throwing punches and they was outside range. Some of the times, yeah, they was inside range, but guess what? They wasn't really trying to goddamn bang each other out, man. Yeah, you can look like you throwing some punches, but you ain't punching through your opponent. Them guys done hit the heavy bag over and over and over again. And, you know, some of those exchanges on the inside was not believable. It wasn't believable, bro. I swear to God, man, like, I'm not upset about this at all. Because in order for them, when they announced the rematch, I say, how are they going to pull this shit off? How? Because I don't see Lamont Roach going to this and da-da-da. And then, you know, you start to brainstorm a little bit. You start coming up with these, you know, deductive reasons and formula freaking problem solving methods, right? And you get all the variables together and you say, if this and this happen, then that will take it to a freaking rematch. It has to be something controversial. The fight has to be close. It has to be somewhat of a draw. And guess what you get? A Canelo Gennady Golovkin 1. Controversial draw. Now they're going to come back for a rematch and people are going to be talking about what happened in the first fight. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be talking about what happened in the first fight, man. Now they believe Frank Roach can go in there and beat Tank, and it ain't going to fucking happen. I like Roach, but man, Tank, you know, that whole thing, you know, he wasn't even fighting like himself. The shit he was doing in there, he didn't have a sense of urgency. He was just doing some goofy shit. He didn't have that tenaciousness about him. He knew what the plan was when he went in there. He wasn't there to knock out Lamont Roach. He didn't want to send him home like that. It was a lot of respect going on in there. So when Roach talk his shit, Tank ain't gonna be mad about it. They already know. They gave the man a bag. Shit. Who should be mad? People gonna get on here and complain about Tank taking a knee, right? But they didn't call it on the knockdown. Hey, man, they didn't call it, bro. So you got to leave it alone. They did not call the knockdown. The referee said, you know, I know, see, I hear the crowd, but no here I see, no, I no say, senor. No say. Man, that shit was crazy. I want to give a big shout out to Gary Antoine Russell, because he beat the brakes off freaking El Rayo, and he could have stopped him. But he was so far up on the scorecards. Man, he was like, man, I can just cruise this on in. You know, stay active and cruise this on in. Steve Willis, he went up there and act like he did not see that knockdown, bro. Now Tank Davis has just made it to the presser. I'm gonna go through this with y'all. Well, the trainers are here, not Tank. Let me look at the chat right quick. See what y'all have to say about what did Roach hit? What did Roach hit with Tank with? What shot from Roach made Tank go down? Tank didn't go down from a shot from Roach. He took a knee because he had grease in his eye. What's going on, Zero? What's good? What's good? The real what's good? Yeah, El Chin Checker for sure. It's called business, man. It's called business. It's called business. They helped each other. They really did a good acting job in there with going 12 rounds so they can go into the rematch and bring more interest, because people are going to be clamoring over what the numbers look like. You know what I'm saying? They want to know what the numbers look like. Whenever we have a pay-per-view over here, people want to always goddamn crawl or get on some roller skates and hurry up and be the first one on deck and say, hey, what the numbers look like. Oh my God, they was that low. Tank don't sell. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here. Tank is my dog. He was being weird, but hey, I'm sure you know how it goes, what it is. Boxing is boxing. Yeah, I think he did what he had to do. Miguel, what's good? See, it's just the whole point. If you think Tank lost, that's exactly what they wanted y'all to think. That's exactly what's going to draw people to the rematch. They did a perfect good acting job. Tank, when have you ever heard him? First of all, when have you ever seen him coming there with his hair braided? Plenty of times. When have you ever seen him in there grabbing a towel, wiping his face? Man, get the fuck out of here, yo. Man, good acting job, man. Good acting. That was definitely a kneel. Tank knew he wasn't going to dog Roach. He was embarrassed. Bro, you got it twisted. Man, he wasn't going to dog Roach based off his own voluntary effort to digress from that shit. He was in there to be nice. He didn't want to knock his boy out. He didn't want to knock him out, yo. He didn't. Because they wanted the rematch. They wanted people to come back to the rematch. What's going on, Mike? Oh, he's saying he had some chemicals on his hair that was running into his eyes. He said in the amateurs you can get away with taking a knee like that. People asking, does Barry Hunter agree with the outcome of the fight? People, hey, any one of y'all in the chat that believe that Tank Davis was having problems with Lamont Roach, because Lamont Roach a little bigger than Tank now. Don't y'all forget that, because y'all always talking about him bringing up smaller fighters. Lamont Roach was the bigger fighter in there today. And he fought very, very well. Shout out to Roach. But let's not do that to ourselves. Let's not act like we somehow snuck out the back window of the asylum and you still have on your straitjacket. and you got dang your medication haven't worn off yet. If you think Lamont Roach in the rematch is going to have an even closer fight, man, please. They played the game, y'all. They played the game to get a rematch, to get people to tune in for a rematch. Now people calling for a rematch because Lamont Roach looked better than what they thought because Tank allowed him to. Shout out to Deion Washington in the building, stand on cold. What's good? Yeah, man. They got to run it back. Hey, Steve Willis, you know how Steve, he got one eye to the left, one eye to the right, and then, you want to say, fall in, and so he can see straight. Shoot, man, Steve Willis, man. He's a part of the community. Calvin Ford finally came in now. So that now they're trying to say the retirement shit is out the door for Tank. They're just talking to Calvin Ford and Barry Hunter right now. I'm pretty sure people are gonna be. And see, Calvin keep talking about they've been knowing each other ever since he was little, and that's what I'm trying to tell you all. They pretty much moved around. Moving around is like sparring. You just move around. You do a lot of feints, and you spar, but you ain't really going in there trying to do what you would do to somebody else. You ain't trying to kill the guy. Man, that fight was a circus show a little bit, because if you're a true boxing fan, you can look at their combinations, and they wasn't trying to goddamn destroy each other. They was throwing punch. They was throwing punch combinations right outside range. If anybody couldn't see that, and then when he hit Tank with that right hand, and Tank stumbled back, man, you got to have some drama in any type of show, especially if you're trying to convince fight fans to come back for a rematch. BG on deck, what's good? BG say it's definitely a robbery and that should have been a knockdown. Well, you're not gonna get an argument from me. Yeah, it should have been a knockdown. But do I understand the hocus pocus of boxing? I absolutely do. Was tonight, were we as fight fans presented another stage play in boxing? Yes, we were. Yes, we were. Were you not entertained? Come on, bro. Come on. Somebody's talking about Tank being a knockout artist. So I go through that a different time. I just want to get my part off because it is early morning. My whole take on this fight is I've seen Tank fight in person several times. I've seen him spar, and he was looking out for his boy. People don't want to understand that. That's cool. But it's going to be plenty of panels talking about how bad Tank looked and how this would be the perfect time for Shakur to, Lamont just gave the blueprint to beat him. If Lamont can land that many shots on freaking Tank, then Shakur can do. Okay, I want that. It's cool. I like it. But on the flip side, on the bad side, it's people that's upset. Why you upset when y'all know this shit happens? This type of shit happens in boxing all the time with promotions. Who do I tell you are there to influence the fight, y'all? Who did I tell you? The third man in the ring and the three judges on the outside apron. they will always influence the fight due to the pre-dinner and everything that's being set up and everybody's talked about it. They will always influence the fight. How did Steve Willis influence the fight tonight? He didn't keep counting the knockdown. Did he not? He refused to finish the knockdown and say, hey, no, I can't take that. I wonder to myself, with Harvey Dock, would he have continued the knockdown? Would Harvey Dock continued the when he took a knee to continue to count? I wonder that, because that was clearly, you walked, you took a couple of steps, and you took a knee. That is considered a knockdown, and an count should have been administered, but it wasn't. But besides that, it's way more that people are going to be talking about as far as Tank, being hit with some shots that seem pretty easy. He's letting a fighter from 130. Now they're going to be talking about how much of a killer Lamont Roach is. At first they was trying to treat him like he was a roach. Now they're going to be hyping him up, talking about, oh man, if he would have did this better and did that better, he possibly could have stopped Tank. I'm telling you, the second fight is not going to be that way. Okay? If Lamont Roach has to come to, an intersection, or he has to come to a psychological mediation, that he needs to put himself in a deep, deep state to convince that he can go in there and beat Tank the second time around. He needs to make sure he's aware of what he's trying to do, the challenge that he's trying to carry out and accomplish, and that he's physically able to do that. No one going to convince me that today they didn't know they wasn't going to move. They wasn't going to move around. I mean, they was going to move around. Yeah, they knew they was going to move around. They coming back for a rematch, man. He is not getting the same treatment he did this time around. And also, that was just to get him another paycheck on the rematch. This is going to be two of the biggest fights of his career. This right here. Him fighting Tank Davis is going to be the two biggest of his career. And also how they cleaned it up. They gave that man a draw, right? Hey, Lamont Roach came up here and got something that Hector Luis Garcia didn't get. Hector Luis Garcia walked away with a loss. Roach walking away with a draw. He's straight. Don't y'all see that? Don't you see that? This nigga straight. Roach is headed back down off the bragging rights. Once he fight Tank again, I don't know if they're going to have a straight rematch, direct rematch, or they're going to have a fight in between. Who knows? I doubt they have a fight in between. But now they're going to be looking for Roach and Tank to fight at the end of the year. And this time, people are going to be talking a bit better, a bit more positive about Roach, because he looked like he can fight with the big boys. He looked bigger than Tank, first of all. And he wasn't afraid to trade with Tank. They've been knowing each other since kids. So yes, he looked durable. But make no mistake about it. Tank will run through Roach just like he did everybody else. That is his family right there. That's his family, bro. He wasn't trying to flatline that dude and have that going, have that plan in his head. No, that the judges knew what was gonna happen. They gave that dude a draw, just so when he go into the rematch and pick up that L, that'll be only his second L instead of his third L. And then you already know. Come on, people. I want you to be scholars like you always are when you wake up. Be your own scholar. Stay on the clock with it. You know goddamn well a rematch look better when it's a draw in the first one. Right? What do we get? A draw. We got a draw, people. In a fight that people are calling for the rematch. Because they believe now that Tank is going to have problems defending his belt again against a fighter like Roach. Man, Roach didn't do anything special, in that opinion, to take that belt. You got to go in there and beat the champ. Come on, man. You got to go in there and beat the champ. You came out the gate doing that shit, but you was right out. You was outside range. Your punches wasn't landing, but you was throwing punches. Man, come on. Come on, man. You did well in the early rounds, but I was looking at it. I'm saying, man, they're not punching. They're not punching through their opponent. Like, they're really not trying to cause damage. They're exchanging punches, but they're also pulling punches too. You can throw fast punches. That doesn't mean you're sitting down and punching. You're punching through your opponent. So they can feel the ill effect. It was a lot of that shit that was just outside range. The gloves was bouncing off the arm. Some of the hooks to the body was just throwing hooks just to throw them. It wasn't really no damage being. Man, come on, bro. You look at Jose Valenzuela and Gary Antoine Russell. Now, he was throwing some motherfucking shit to hurt. They was throwing punch combination hooks to the body, hooks up top, and uppercuts. They was throwing that shit with bad intentions. Not Tank and freaking Lamont Roach. No, I'm not saying they wasn't boxing, but man, they was moving around in that motherfucker, and he wasn't trying to take his head off. Let's be honest, man. I want y'all to not look at this like I'm trying to use conspiracy theories. I'm just saying, man, I don't like how everybody want to paint. They'll look at shit, and then they try to come back on here and talk about it like it's straight up fact. Everything, nothing could be based off what I said it is. Like, they see it too, but they don't want to see it. They want to go in here and say, "Oh man, Tank losing it. He should retire. He's not the way it used to be." Let me see if Tank made his way in here yet, cause Tank be extremely late. Extremely late. No, Tank ain't there yet. It's just Barry Hunter and Kevin Ford in there. See, I'm glad I'm not sitting in that waiting for him. Is he in there yet? Nope, he ain't there yet. Those of you that saying it should have been a knockdown, hey man, I ain't mad at you. There's no debating here. There's no debating here, man. You know what I'm saying? Steve Willis, goddamn well, he should have counted that as a knockdown. But he stopped the count to go ask, "Hey man, what's going on? What you doing? You had to grab your mouthpiece, or you wanted to goddamn get a pizza slice?" "Oh, I just grabbed my mouthpiece. I had to take it out because I want to eat some pizza and take a little extra break and shit." You know what it is, man. That nigga ain't beat me over there. We're going to go to a draw. They didn't tell you? Oh, they did? Okay. I'm almost finished. I'm just going to eat this crust right quick. Okay. Hey, can somebody give me some of that cola back there? I want to wash it down with a cola. Yeah, okay. Get my mouthpiece? All right, cool. I'm back, Steve. Hey, Steve, call fight. Yeah, time in. I mean, it's just the way it is sometimes. People have to accept that. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is premeditated sometimes. You have predetermined results. And the only way they're going to get those results is the actual process has to play itself out, which is consistent of two fighters and a referee. That's all. Imagine that. They signed for a 2-fight deal. One of the fighters is not the favorite. People not feeling them. Now they go in here and make this guy seem like he can hang with Tank. Now they done built up the second one. Now they get the 2-for-1 special. Now they got the draw. You know what I'm saying? Hey, would you like a draw? Sure. I'm going to get another paycheck. Sure, I want a draw. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So, man, don't hurt your feelings over it. I will definitely talk about this more tomorrow because, I'm not mad at all. Boxing is so freaking, man, sneaky, insidious. I mean, it's an insidious sport. Nefarious. You want to talk about no morals and principles. man, they do what they got to do to get the money, to be where it's supposed to be. And you have to look at this too. Tank not wanting to go over to Saudi. So since he's not going over to Saudi, they have to find a way to make it interesting for him over here. And right now, people are going to be talking about Tank. Don't mind people talking about how he looked in there, because at the end of the day, he's still getting paid. And people are going to want to see him and Lamont Roach even more in the rematch, because they believe Lamont Roach competitiveness, he has an opportunity to be the first fighter to defeat Tank. Until they step in the ring and Tank make it look easier than it was in the first fight. But that's boxing though. That's boxing. They have different layers. You know what I'm saying? They have different layers on how they go about the playbook. Boxing has always been that way. How are we going to make this look presentable, believable to the fans, so they won't say the fight was fixed? How? And that's it. Sometimes some of the shit it can't go, like some of the shit to make it look like it's gonna be a close fight. It end up slipping up a little bit. Like this right here end up slipping up. Him not calling a knockdown, that slipped up big time. You know what I'm saying? And who's gonna hold the referee accountable? Just like Tony Weeks stopped Barroso from whipping on Rolly. Who held him accountable? Because he was right back refereeing the main event, and Barroso was on the freaking co-main event, fighting for a damn title, an interim title. And Tony Weeks, the same referee that stopped the fight on him, was refereeing the main event. Crucial, bro. Crucial, man. Real talk. Crucial. But man, I'll be on here tomorrow. Shout out to everyone who pulled up, of course. I was trying my best to wait to Tank. Is Tank in yet? No, Tank ain't there. I was trying my best to wait the Tank, but I had to get up with him, man. I ain't waiting up here to 3:30, 4 o'clock. I might as well just pull up at the IHOP, goddammit. I might as well go get me some breakfast. You know what I'm saying? I might as well just go out there and get me some coffee and shit. Because it seemed like Tank is going to take forever to get over here, bro. But shout out to Tank, man, for the draw. Lamont Roach for a draw. Big shout out to Gary Antoine Russell for doing the damn thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I want him a nice little slip off, Antoine Russell. Shout out to him, bro. But till next time, man, y'all hold it down. I'm out. Peace.